Howdy folks, and welcome once again to the Luminary shop. I'm Rick, and we're in the middle of restoring a pair of very unusual coach lamps for an English road coach. Jeremy Masterson, the supervisor of the restoration shop at the Remington Museum in Cardston, Alberta, Canada, sent me some pictures to share with you so that you can get an idea of what kind of a vehicle these carriage lamps went on. This first photo is a picture of the coach before it started the restoration project in Jeremy's shop. On this postcard, it appears that these lamps are already on this coach in 1909, when this coach appears in front of a hotel in Louth, England. This is a picture of the coach when it came into the collections of the Museum of Lincolnshire Life in England. You can see that it definitely has this pair of lamps on it at that time. It was 1969. And this is a picture of the lamp bracket. It had been taken off the coach and sandblasted by the time this picture was taken. But you can see how the lamp would mount into this bracket where the screwdriver is currently located. That bolt on the end of the bracket that is attached to the lamp would go through that hole and it would be screwed on to the bracket. At the end of this video, I'm going to introduce you to a few of the more interesting residents that we have in this county. I hope you enjoy meeting them. So last week I had installed the old liners and cleaned them up, and now I have them all ready to restore that silver plating. First I'll use the cyanide-based activator, which just pickles the surface and makes it able to receive the silver plating. Next, I soak the cotton sock that surrounds the pure silver bar in a cyanide-based coatolite, which gives a liquid pathway for the silver molecules to transfer to the plate that I want to put on. Once the silver is applied, I polish it up with Flitz metal polish. When I'm happy with the silver liners, I mask them off with 3M 233 green masking tape to protect them from the next steps that follow. Now I'll do a second sandblasting to clean up the insides and the outsides a little bit of these lamps and get them ready for priming. I have the lamps as clean as possible at this point, but down inside those rough areas and some of the rusted out places, little bits of rust still remain. So I'm going to have to treat them in order to keep them from bubbling up the finished paint when we finally get to that stage. I use a product called Extend, made by Loctite. It's a rust neutralizer, and what it does is converts that rust into an inert substance, contains it, coats it, and stops it from doing any damage to your painted surface once you get there. Now you can't just painted over rust. You have to clean it off as much as possible before you use this product. The very top finials of the lamps, with their unique X-shaped air holes, will have to be replaced. I've had this punch and die set made specifically to make these X-shaped air holes. The new parts are laid out on 24 gauge cold rolled steel. I'm using a scratch-awl to mark this piece to make my cuts and punches. It makes a finer line and I'm able to make a more accurate piece than if I had used a pencil or felt tip marker. The felt tip marker is used to mark the exact location of each punch with a small dot. And now I use a center punch to mark the location at each one of those little felt tip marker spots to locate each X-shaped hole. The new punch has a small point right in the center of the X that'll locate the punch into each of the little depressions I've made with my center punch and position each hole exactly where it should be. And now I'm mounting the new punch and die in the Rotex machine. Once the punch is in place, I have to position the die exactly so that the two parts mate up correctly. I mentioned before that these heads were held together by both rivets and solder. So I've drilled out the rivets, and now we'll melt the solder and take the heads apart. Next, I attach the original oval-shaped handles to the finials of the lamps. I use the finger brake to bend the panels and make the little boxes and flanges on these parts. I'll solder and rivet those handles that I had prepared, just like they were originally. Well, it looks like that's about as far as we're going to get for this video. But there's lots more to do, and we'll just save that for the next video or two. At the beginning of this video, I told you I wanted to introduce you to some of the other residents of our county. Well, last Sunday, my wife and I and a couple of friends went out to see them before breakfast. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as usual, thanks for watching and sharing. So long for now.